All right, hello everybody. Scoot over there, buddy. It's the Tuesday. What is it? Tuesday night
Tuesday.
comic
Yeah, it's
book
Tuesday.
preview stream that we do here at Fantasy Books and Games. I'm Aaron. This is
What
Sam,
up?
and we're going to talk about some comics that are coming
Sounds
out
great.
tomorrow. I can't speak for you,
Okay.
but there are several books coming out tomorrow that I'm personally very excited about.
Really?
Oh
Okay.
yes, oh yes, and not just the normal things that I really like that we like to start with on the
Right.
stream, which is
Facsimile editions.
facsimiles. I do love me some reprints of old comics, and we got some of the oldest coming out tomorrow. Batman number 47. This is from 1948 ish, I think.
Wow. Okay.
So this is a golden age Batman comic, and this is the issue that it retells and elaborates the origin of Batman. I think it's the first time that they tell the origin, not just like in Detective Comics. It's just like a few panels where it's like he was a young boy and his parents were murdered, and
Okay.
then he became Batman. This one it's like a full story. Yeah, there we go, and it's like a full 10 or 12 page story here, and it's pretty classic. Like it introduces Joe Chill, like that's where the
Oh,
name
okay.
comes here, and it also introduces the. It doesn't say pearl necklace, but it is a necklace that he wants. Like
Yeah.
so, he like tries to kill her for her necklace. Although I like that he shoots the dad Thomas, and then Batman's mom dies of sudden shock.
Oh, that's
So he doesn't kill, like he technically, Joe Chill technically doesn't murder Martha Wayne. She just dies from shock of seeing her husband get murdered.
what?
Yeah,
That's a pretty big change
it
from.
is. They think they eventually just clean it up. And like, no, he just shoots both of them.
Yeah. Simplifies
It's a
it.
little simpler,
Yeah.
and it's. I'm not saying you can't die from shock. It's just a
Sure.
little less light. It just makes more sense if they're just both shot.
Right.
I also really like this panel here. They set up that Bruce Wayne as a little kid stares at Joe Chill, and look at this weird panel of like,
That's a wild one.
yeah, it's his eyes, and Joe Chill freaks out of the way this kid is staring at him,
Oh.
and it comes back later when Batman tracks him down after the fact, and spoiler alert, he reveals who he is to Joe Chill, and he's just like, I'm Bruce Wayne, and
Oh
I'm
my
gonna I'm
gosh.
gonna identify you as the murderer of my parents, and it's pretty good. Like it's a little freaky, and then Joe Chill like runs away, and he goes to a bunch of other criminals, and it's like, you guys got to help me. Turns out I killed Batman's kids or Batman's parents when he was a kid, and that's why he became Batman. And they all naturally, being stupid criminals, are like, "You're the reason Batman exists," and they kill
Oh,
him.
geez.
So, and then they're even like, "Oh man, we killed him before he told us who Batman is." It's
They
like,
just,
yeah.
oh
Oh, I
man,
mean, they're criminals, so they're pretty dumb. But like,
golly.
yeah, they were just like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have killed him. Maybe we should have made him tell us who Batman really is first. And but you know what? They were just so mad that
I,
he's the reason Batman exists.
oh man.
It's classic Golden Age comics. Very excited. I love that DC is putting these out, and I always talk about the great quality. Like they're just so good looking. Another facsimile coming out tomorrow. A little different
Yeah.
than Batman, and that is Sabrina the Teenage Witch #1. I
Ooh,
feel like maybe this should have come out last week
for
or
Halloween.
for Halloween, but
Yeah.
they got it out when they could, I suppose. This is not the first appearance of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but this is her first ongoing series, and it's there's really not a whole lot to say about it other than it's an Archie comic
Right.
about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but they're fun comics because they are Archie stories, except with magic, because she is a witch, and
Right.
so she like does magic, and shenanigans happen. And so yeah, oh yeah, and there's some fun. They reprint all the original ads and stuff, which I love. Yeah, so first issue of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, just in time for the day after Halloween or the week after Halloween.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very cool. I'm glad that Archie is reprinting a lot of their classic issues as well,
Hmm.
just because there's so much Archie material out there, and I also don't know if I don't know how many like collections there are. The stuff gets reprinted all the time, like they do those big digests and stuff.
Right.
But I don't know how often they've ever just reprinted issues. So I think it's fun that they're just reprinting a lot of their classic issues where you can just kind of because look, let me tell you, I go to antique malls a lot,
Yeah.
and you see Archie comics there all the time.
Constantly, I
Yeah,
bet.
all the
Yeah.
time because they were very popular. They
Right.
sold very well, but it's not something that people really collected the way like people collected the superhero stuff, you know.
Right.
So it's just around. Let's see. Jessie Bells is still mad that she doesn't know what happened to all her Sabrina comics. That's right.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, that's too bad. Well, we got the facsimile reprint of #1 for you. There's several issues in my pull coming out tomorrow. Maybe we'll just make a brief mention of several of those. Adventure Time. I am still reading this and enjoying this.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting. Have you never really watched Adventure Time
I did for like the first two seasons. How many seasons was that?
of Adventure Time?
Yeah, there was
It was
quite a
like
bit.
10 seasons.
I know there was quite a
Yeah.
bit. So like I watched maybe the first 2 or 3.
Okay.
So I'm fairly
Okay. So you're
comfortable
familiar
with
enough
it.
with
Yeah.
it. Well, they've got that spinoff show that came out last year, the
Yeah.
Fiona and Cake,
Mm-hmm.
and they just started season 2. And so my wife and I watched the first 2 episodes the other day, and I enjoy that show. Although I have to admit, I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, oh, maybe I need to rewatch the first season of Fiona and Cake because I was like completely lost. But I think that it kind of has that problem where there's a lot of lore involved in the
Yeah.
show because it's literally, well, it's a spinoff, but as a spinoff, it's also intrinsically tied to the main story of Adventure
Because
Time.
everything's like the opposite in the Fiona and Cake world,
For
right?
lack of
Yeah.
a better explanation,
Right.
yes. And so I just was like, man, I can't just like I like it, but I can't really recommend it to people. Of like, you should just sit down and watch it without first saying you need to watch the first 10 seasons of Adventure Time, and
Right.
But that's what I am enjoying about this comic book is that you can just read it, and it's just the continuing adventures of Jake and Finn, back in classic Adventure Time uh, 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 era period, I guess,
Yeah.
because like Fiona and Cake takes place in the future of like this like the normal Adventure Time continuity.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so it's good. I really enjoy it. I don't have, as I say, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it that I haven't said previous issues, but I enjoy it for that classic Adventure Time fix.
Nice.
Also coming out tomorrow, Absolute Superman #13. I haven't had a chance to read this one, but I've been enjoying Absolute Superman. We talk about the Absolute books quite
Yeah.
often on this stream, and it's pretty hit or miss. I think the ones that seem to be most popular is Batman and Superman. I'm sorry, actually, maybe Batman and Wonder Woman are
Wonder
the two
Woman, I
most
would
popular.
say.
Is what I meant to say. Superman is actually less popular than Wonder Woman, I think.
Okay.
Um, but it's still more popular than Green Lantern or Flash. Martian Manhunter, it was like kind of in the middle. Like it really, I mean, we pushed it pretty hard because I
Right.
loved it,
I did too.
and there was a lot of people that responded very strongly to it. But also, there's a lot of people that just don't care about Martian Manhunter and they just want to read Batman and Superman, and I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been enjoying Absolute Superman. I forgot to grab, actually, speaking of, there is a second printing of Absolute Martian Manhunter 6 coming out tomorrow. So
Right.
if you or are getting caught up on that series, there will be a second printing out for that. But yeah, so I'm not even going to open this to flip through it. But we talk about the Absolute books all the time. If you've watched any of this stream, you know our thoughts on it. Here's a book that I'm super excited about that is finally coming out. Planet Death issue 2. Issue 1 came out 2 months ago.
It was a
I think
while, yeah.
It's been a little while. This is a very cool comic. It is from the creator of John Wick, I believe they
Yeah.
said. It's also written by. There's a few other creators. I think it's co-written by somebody else, and I forget his name. But anyway, this is a cool comic. It's basically just like a space marine trapped on an alien planet where everything wants to kill him,
Right.
and he's got to figure out how to still needs to achieve his objective, and et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty I don't want to say simple. Like it's got some sick art. Like this is a cool, like I said, it's a
Yeah.
cool looking comic, and it's like this is definitely for fans of like Warhammer or like classic sci-fi. Like it reminds me of not doesn't remind me of Starship Troopers, but it gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
Um,
The Space Marine.
the Space Marine,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. So this is it kind of the story goes exactly how you expect it to go, and I have to admit, I was getting I don't know, maybe about halfway through, I got to a certain point where I was like, man, this is good, but it's also pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I was like waiting for the twist. I was like, what's like, there's got to be some kind of a twist here. And there is. And I won't say what it is.
Okay.
It's not, I won't say it's not a mind blowing twist. It's not the biggest, like, it doesn't make you rethink everything that's happened so far. But I was at least like, oh, okay, there's finally like an interesting story development, and it's like the final page reveal, you could say. So again, I won't spoil it, but Planet Death. Also, I forgot to grab it off the shelf, but if you missed issue 1 of Planet Death, there is a second printing coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
Second printing of Planet Death, also Planet Death number 2. Because I know that was something that we've had a few people ask about, and I guess Bad Idea is really doing their best to kind of keep their readers and fans happy by doing things like second printings, which they had previously never done, which made their books really hard to get.
Right.
And if you can't get issue 1 of a 5-issue series, you're not going to buy the other 4 issues. So
they kind of caved.
Yeah, I think they caved is what it is. As long, I'm fine with them not doing like trade paperbacks or collected editions, but like it just makes sense to do a second printing of, like, if an issue sells out and there's demand for it, just do another printing. Right. So that
don't inconvenience people who want to buy your product.
Exactly. And that's what, it's a joke as old as the company, but their name is Bad Idea. But anyway, another book that's coming out tomorrow that I'm super excited about, Assorted Crisis Events number 6. It's been a few months, I think, since issue 5 came out. They took a little break. And I did have a chance to read this issue today. And I got to say, this issue, first of all, it's really good.
Yeah.
We just mentioned how much we love Absolute Martian Manhunter. This is the same writer, Denise Camp.
Oh, okay.
And this issue is kind of heartbreaking in a very unique way.
Yeah.
It's a true tragedy, which I will say it has like a nice ending. I'm not going to spoil what it's about, but the basic story is like just how difficult it is living with somebody with like a degenerative disease, like Alzheimer's or dementia or something. But in this case, because it's a science fiction book, it's this woman's husband becomes unstuck in time, and so he keeps like changing his age like throughout time, and it makes him disoriented, and he like doesn't like it's not like he's just like becomes a young kid. It's like he is himself as a young kid when he was that old, so he doesn't know who anybody is. He's just like a kid, or he'll become like an old 80-year-old man, and it's just the personal emotional toll that it takes on trying to care for somebody in this situation. And it is so it's such a good like character story, because really it is just about, like I said, how difficult it is emotionally to care for loved ones that are in like a really tragic situation like that. But it's got a good ending.
Okay.
Like it's still a tragedy, but like it's just so perfectly presented. This might be my favorite issue so far of the series.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been keeping up with
it. I read
it.
the first one, and I have the trade at home.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't read it yet.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. I think I've talked about this one because I've talked about every issue when they've come out. And I do think that some of the issues feel a little overwritten, maybe with like what the message is, like that they're trying to get across. But this issue is just pitch perfect. Like it's just so good. And it's probably because it's just at the end of the day, it's a simple, just like emotional character story. You need some water, Sam?
Yeah, I think I do.
Go grab a water. I'll
be right back.
I'll talk about G.I. Joe next, because Yeah, I don't need you for that. Also, in my poll that I'm super excited about, GI Joe. Y'all know I love GI Joe. This series is going to start shipping 2 books a month for this 5 issue story arc. So this is the Dreadnought War is the name of the story, and I gotta say the Dreadnoughts have always been my favorite characters in GI Joe. The main cover has this cool wraparound cover. You get to see the full extent Dreadnoughts right there. The Dreadnoughts are basically just they're like Mad Max bikers from the most disgusting and dangerous place on earth, Florida, which just that makes them even more dangerous. But yeah, the plot of this is really simple, and I've talked about GI Joe a lot, but I'm talking about this one a little bit more than normal because this issue I actually think is a good jumping on point for new readers. Like
Really? Okay.
if you've not been following GI Joe, but you just like cool action stories, that's what this is. It's really it's pretty simple, but in all the right ways. Kind of what I was talking about with, I mean, even more perfect than like Planet Death or even Assorted Crisis Events, which I guess part of what's like making these stories really good is like they're told really well, but they're not overreaching what they're trying to do, I
Yeah.
guess is what I'm trying to say. And
They have a good economy of words and pages.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And this issue is just perfect too, because it is, first of all, Tom Riley is back. He's one of my favorite artists working kind of in the mainstream.
Oh, he's good.
And he's so good. Tom
Yeah.
Riley's the best. And it's a really simple, like it's a simple setup where they're both the only like information you need beforehand going into this, which they explain here just in this convenient like infographic, which is that Transformers are hidden on Earth and
Right.
Cobra is finding Energon and using it to make their super weapons, and GI Joe is tracking it, and Duke has a personal stake because a Transformer killed his best friend.
Oh.
Starscream did in like issue 3 of Transformers.
Okay.
And so that's how it's tied. Yeah, there's Starscream killing his friend, and basically they track some Energon, and they're like, oh, it's weird, and so they go to investigate. Duke goes by himself because he's in the area, and so it's in a desert, of course, and he's just scoping it out, and he's like, "Oh my God, Cobra's there!" And then I guess again, this is the only thing I can say is that this is another one of those things where the way you sell a comic is kind of presented as a twist,
Right.
which is that surprise, it's a trap. The Dreadnoks set a trap because they want to kill Cobra Commander because they're mad at him for taking all their Energon because they're the ones who found it in the Florida swamps in the first place.
Ah.
And so Duke saves Cobra Commander because he wants to bring Cobra Commander in as a prisoner. And then it just becomes like Duke and Cobra Commander in a Jeep running from I'm gonna find, yeah, there we go, boom,
Oh, that's
just an
awesome.
army of Mad Max drunken Florida bikers. It's just so great. I love I absolutely love the Dreadnoks. They're just cool. There's even some deep cut references to, they make a reference to grape soda, which the Dreadnoks all drink because in the cartoon they couldn't drink beer, so they drank grape
Oh,
soda. You know,
that's the next best
it's the
thing,
next
huh?
best thing to beer. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm super excited that Tom Riley's back and we're getting some really rad GI Joe comics. Also, some cool variants. I like this die cut variant.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm probably going to get over the instead of the A cover because I'm a sucker for these types of things where it's got the bullet holes for the characters' faces, and you open it up and you see that's pretty
That's
cool,
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool variant cover. Okay, Sam, what's something now that you've had a nice drink of water and you're not
Yes,
choking?
I needed that.
What's something that you got that you took a look at?
Okay, I read No Place by
Oh,
Tim
good. I'm
Seeley.
glad you read that because I didn't get a chance to flip through that. I like Tim Seeley a lot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know you mentioned that in the past, and this was pretty good.
Okay,
Um,
let's put it on camera.
yeah. So the story revolves around this girl who I guess claims she was kidnapped when really she went to this like fantastical realm and was their champion.
Okay.
And she gets contacted by Dorothy of Wizard of Oz fame
Oh, okay.
to defend worlds like the one that she went to.
Okay.
And yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's got a little bit of what's that making me think of? I guess like kind of there's something I'm like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
kind
the
of.
way it uses like old public domain character, but there's something else specifically like with the going into the fantasy worlds. I mean, Wizard of Oz is what that is,
Right.
But anyway, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked the art a lot. Story started out just fine, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I have to. I didn't get a chance to read this. I did flip through it, and I wasn't. I don't know if I'm totally sold on the art.
Is
I
it
just
too like glossy for you?
it's
Or...
too like it's there's something with the colors, but it does work in like that fantasy setting,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's. Well, I guess we don't want to. We don't want to
There's
spoil.
not too much that flipping through that book. I don't think there's too much that can be spoiled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
like.
that's sort of the curse of first issues. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
like I always complain about, like the final page twist is the thing that they advertise,
Yeah,
and
usually.
usually,
And
yeah. But yeah, that's cool. And this is from Ignition Press,
mm-hmm.
is that new publisher that's been putting out a ton of stuff. So I'm glad to see Tim Seeley doing stuff with them. I'm
Right.
curious to see what else they got coming out.
It was cool too to see. I mean, like, I'm not a huge horror fan, and I feel like most of the Ignition Press stuff has been leaned really heavily
I
into
was
the
gonna
horror.
mention that. Yeah,
Yeah,
all of their initial releases were pretty much like just straight horror books. I think you said Voyeur was more like a psychological
psychological thriller.
thriller type of
Yeah,
a thing, which is good. But yeah, I'm glad to see them kind of moving out just beyond their initial, like all those first series were basically just regular horror
yeah,
books that you expect from those creators. Which is not to say that they're bad. I'm just saying
right.
when you say you've got a new horror book coming out from Cullen Bunn, I got a good idea of what to
What it's
expect.
gonna be like.
And
Yeah,
same thing with like Jeremy Hahn, and I'm like, okay, cool. It's
yeah.
cool that you're doing that, but I'm glad that they're doing something more than just
Branching
that. Yeah,
out and
branching.
like doing different genres. Yeah,
Cool,
it's
very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
One more thing from my poll I didn't mention, but Savage Sword of Conan, new issue of this comes out. This is issue number 11. I haven't flipped through this yet, so I guess I have to be a little careful. I'm only briefly mentioning it because one of the things I've liked about Savage Sword is that most of the issues have stories by different creators,
Right.
and this issue has a story by Liam Sharp. And Liam Sharp is a very cool artist, and I've not always loved everything that he's done because he's done some stuff that's I don't know if it's mixed media, but it feels like he was playing around with like 3D models and some kind
Okay.
of digital coloring technique. And I like him when he's doing more traditional arts.
Right.
And there is nothing more traditional than ink pen Conan the Barbarian stories
Yeah.
in black and white. And yeah, this is just sick looking. Like this is so cool.
Yeah.
This is just classic Conan. Look at that. That's
I'm always
beautiful.
blown away by the Conan art that you show on the stream. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, Conan has a rich history of having just some of the best, like fundamental technical artists like drawing Conan, and I
Right.
think that's because, like well, first of all, like doing these types of stories like in black and white, it caters to a specific type of art. Like you're
Right.
not going to have the artist on No Place do something in this book.
It's a little
It's just
different.
not going to work.
Yeah.
Like it won't look the same. And then also Conan's just a big muscle guy and he doesn't wear a lot of clothes. So a lot of artists, you can really just lean into drawing like the human figure
Anatomy
and
buffs.
anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. People that are anatomy buffs.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so a lot of artists, like you have Neil Adams, John Buscema is a better example because he actually did do a lot of Conan the Barbarian. But like Neil Adams type of art, when they draw superheroes, it always kind of annoys me when they draw them to look like they're naked with
Right.
like the muscles showing through their costume and stuff. And I'm just like, you're not really going to see somebody's abs through their,
I never thought of that.
it always kind of
Yeah.
annoys me.
That's a very good point.
And it became kind of the standard superhero art style, and it's always bugged me just like a little bit. And so, but Conan, it works because he's not wearing
Right.
spandex or a leotard or whatever. He's just a big half naked guy, so you just get to see all the buff muscles on display.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think, but that's why there's a lot of good art because it does cater to like those types of artists that like to draw that, and
Mm-hmm.
then they just get to lean into it and just go all in,
Nice.
So anyway, yeah, Savage Sword of Conan, very, very cool stuff. Another book coming out tomorrow that I'm
Ooh.
super excited about. Did you get a chance to look through this at
No,
all?
I love Matt Kint.
Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Space Scouts. This is maybe my favorite issue of the week, and
Really?
that
Okay.
is in a week that contains Savage Sword of Conan and GI Joe and a few other things, and an old 100-year-old Batman comic. No, this is Space Scouts by Matt Kint and David Rubin. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you're familiar with David Rubin's art.
I'm not.
Oh, he's so good. And
What else has he done?
he's done, he's done a lot of stuff at Dark Horse. He did,
Okay.
trying to think of what was the book he did with Neil Gaiman? Was it a Viking book? Did he do
Oh, did he
the
do the Norse mythology?
yeah, I think he did
Okay.
at least one of the volumes of Norse mythology. And last year he did a vampire book called Operation Sunshine that is really
I
good. I
remember
highly
hearing about
recommend that
that.
one. Anyway, so here he is with Matt Kint on this book, Space Scouts. And I think Matt Kint, first of all, he's a great writer,
Yeah.
but also he does a good job of uh, distilling a concept like really well, and I really like this one. It's basically, I think I could sell you on this comic with just like three references: Star Wars, The Hunger Games, and I blanked. Star
Oh.
Wars, The Hunger Games, and the Legion of Superheroes, the
Oh.
DC characters. So the basic setup is it's kind of like Hunger Games, where it's like Star Wars, where there's just all these planets of aliens,
Right.
and then every year one person from the planet is selected to compete to become the next space space scout, who
Okay.
are
The
basically
Legion.
the Legion of They're superheroes.
Okay.
They're space heroes, and there are some stakes because it's like, well, if you succeed, you become a space hero. Your whole planet becomes like a royal planet, and
Great
you instantly
upgrade.
become like king or queen of the planet, and there's like a monetary investment of like you really want to be a hero because your poor backwater planet will suddenly be elevated.
And
But
yeah.
then there's also the like you
What
get
if
to be a superhero, and fight space monsters.
what
And
happens if you lose?
you just get nothing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you just yeah, that's
It's
the
not
thing
like
is
you die
it's
like
not
a
like a Hunger Games thing where like if you lose, your whole planet is destroyed. Well, I guess there could be that reveal like later on, but it's
Oh,
not
okay.
really set up like that. So that's why I was a little like I didn't want to lean too hard into the Hunger Games thing because there's not like a implicit threat of like you have
Okay.
to do this. It's just like everybody wants to do it
Right.
because why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
And but our main character is a reluctant hero because she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to. Uh, she's like a kind of like an what would you call her? A strong-willed, independent, maybe a little bit of an anarchist, where she's like she wants to go make her way in
Uh,
the world, but she doesn't want to just join the system and be a space scout and all this stuff. But anyway,
yeah.
it's really really good. I love Dave Rubin's art. He draws aliens and creatures really well,
Yeah.
and so that's where you kind of get a little bit of like with all the different characters you get. Most of them are straight basically humanoid, like again like a lot of classic Legion of Superheroes characters, but there's room for weird alien stuff. I like this character who's just a head with like a spider robot body.
Yeah.
She shows up a few times. She's really good. Let's see if I can find another good
I'm
panel of
loving the
her.
art.
Yeah, the art is great. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. I like his cartooning a lot. He's really good with facial expressions
Hmm.
without it looking like just standard superhero art.
Yeah.
You know, Oh yeah, she smokes too. Her name is I. She's like a pirate. She has an eye patch. Yeah, there you go. And it's great. It's really good. Like I always recommend Matt Kint books,
Yeah.
but I really really like this one. It's not like a lot of his best stuff. I think is in the spy genre or kind of the psychedelic trippy. You don't know what's going on
Yeah.
story. This one feels a little bit more grounded and distilled into just like its uh, um, hero's journey
Okay.
thing, which it also meta references where the character's like, "Oh, I hate hero's journey stories," and so I'm a reluctant protagonist. Like he definitely, I think the term is hangs a lampshade on it, where he
Okay.
kind of like he recognizes that he's working within a genre, and so he makes a reference to it in the story, just so that you know that he knows what he's doing,
And we all
and
know.
we all know. So now we all know. But it's really really good. I liked it a lot. Also, I'm a little perturbed. There's a variant cover by another one of my favorite artists, Sergio Aragones, who God, he's got to be like pushing 90 now at this point.
Oh God.
He did a lot of stuff at Mad Magazine. He did Gru the
That's Gru,
Wanderer.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's a great artist in his own right. But it's really cool that he did this variant. That's because he's also like a quirky,
Yeah.
weird artist. He just does fun stuff. So yeah, lots of cool comics coming out tomorrow. All right, what else you got for me, Sam?
What else? We both read Knife. Dang it!
You
I
did
did it again.
You said you weren't going to do it,
I
and you
know.
did it.
Night Fight.
Night Fight.
Night Fight.
Night, as in Batman: The Dark Knight Fight.
Fights. Yes.
It's meant to sound like knife fight, and so we keep saying knife fight. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is a part of the DCKO event. It's a 4-issue series tie-in. And yes, you're correct. I did read this.
Yeah.
And when I told you that I read this, you said, "Why?"
I did.
You did. You said something to that effect. I said, "Why?" Or maybe you said, "I'm surprised you read that."
Yeah,
Maybe
or something like that. Yeah.
Because I was not super hot on the DCKO.
That's kind of why.
And
yeah.
also I've made it very clear that I don't like events because I feel like they just get in the way of good storytelling. But this issue is written by Joshua Williamson, who is writing a ton of great stuff.
Yeah.
Including G.I. Joe, which is the book I just talked about, and so is one of my favorite books of the week. Same writer.
Yeah.
And also drawn by Dan Mora, who this guy apparently just draws like 1 million comics a month, because he's also drawing Transformers right now.
Oh my gosh.
But so I decided I would check it out as a tie-in. Just to kind of see what they're doing with the event, and so also so that I won't lie to you. There was a little bit of just a perfunctory necessary for me to read this issue, just so that I can keep up with stuff that our customers are talking about, and I don't want to just sound like an idiot, like, oh, I don't know anything about the event, So I did read this. I'll ask you what you think in a second, but I will say, I thought it was a pretty good issue.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Again, this is another one of those things where I would probably like it more if it wasn't a part of the event.
Yeah.
It would seem more interesting.
It definitely, I would agree with that. Yeah.
But it looks good, I will say. I like I guess the setup is just the event is the DCKO event is going on, and Batman was eliminated like immediately.
Right.
And then he returns back to Earth, and everything is different. Ooh, and it's like he's in some kind of weird alternate future.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the setting of this future, where there's, like, as you can see here, like 50 different Robins, and they're all new Robins. And I don't know if I want to spoil, like, there's a few other reveals in this issue. Maybe we'll leave it at that.
The Robins are a spin on the Batman Incorporated concept.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, they straight up call it Robin Incorporated.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that as like a future, one possible future of the Batman story.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
It's well written, but like I said,
I wonder how it will contribute to the DCKO story, and it doesn't seem to have any tether to that really whatsoever, other than that's the explanation for how Batman got there.
Yeah, but see, and then there's that's that problem, is because I know it's tied to the event,
right?
Where I'm like, I don't even know if I can even trust what is happening in this issue to really be what is happening in the story, or if it's just going to take a weird twist because it is a part of the event,
right?
So it's like, as a single issue, I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, but I just, again, this is why I complain about events, because I feel like they just, maybe it's my problem, maybe I need to just read it and enjoy it and not overthink it, But we'll see. We'll
We'll
see where
see.
it goes. I probably will check out the next issue just to see if they kind of keep up with it. It is only 4 issues, so
Right.
I'll say that for them.
Yeah, it's a cool little window into like a, would you call it an Elseworld
That's
story or
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah.
like. I know I would like this more if it was just an Elseworld story,
Yeah, yeah,
But that's me.
yeah. I'd agree with you there.
All right. Another thing coming out tomorrow that I'm not really invested in, but I decided to take a peek at Long Shots #2. And this comic, I'm not really following the X-Men Age of Revelation books. You've been
I've
following
been
it, correct?
following
Okay,
pretty
good.
much all of them. I
Oh
think I
my
read
gosh.
all of them. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, what a
the first
trooper.
issues.
So this issue caught my attention because the X babies are on the cover. And I have to admit, I love the X babies. They're such a simple, stupid concept, but they're cute. Like that's the whole point because it's a Mojo story,
Right.
really, and that's where the X babies come from. I love, like, the idea is so simple, like the original version of the X babies, which is that Mojo originally tries to capture the X-Men so that he can use them in his TV show, and in his dimension, having successful ratings just means you're in charge. Like,
Right.
that's their whole political system is based on TV ratings. So he's like, the X-Men are super popular. It was very meta at a time when
Yeah.
comics weren't necessarily meta.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, the X-Men are really popular, so I will kidnap them and make them perform stunts, and then I'll be king of the planet again, et cetera, et cetera. And when the X-Men escape, he's like, well, we'll just create something better. Baby versions of the X-Men. Everybody will love them because they're the X-Men, but they're also cute. And I don't know if it was specifically a dig at like Muppet Babies
Oh, I
type
could
of a
see
thing,
that. Yeah.
but and so it's always been like a silly concept that's just always been in the far, far back of X-Men continuity. They're never really around for long, and they usually show up as a joke.
Was
Um,
Mojo like was that a Chris Claremont creation or
no, I believe
no?
Mojo was created by Ann Nesenti in the Long Shot miniseries. Long
Oh,
Shot was
okay.
originally a character that wasn't part of the X-Men.
Right.
They just decided to bring him into the X-Men because they weren't doing anything with him. And also, Art Adams created a Long Shot for that series. He co-created a Long Shot for that series, and then he was drawing X-Men at the time. So they're like, let's just bring Long Shot in.
Bring
Why
him
not?
over. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's how he kind of got wrapped up in X-Men continuity, but originally it was just
Oh.
his own idea where he was just trying to escape from the. Actually, now that I think, yeah, Mojo was definitely in it. Duh, I don't know why I would think Mojo wasn't. Yeah, anyways, we don't have to talk about 1980s X-Men continuity all night, even though I could. Um, so I didn't read this issue. I just flipped through it because I saw the X babies on the cover, and I was not disappointed. They are in it.
Yeah.
But you said you did read the
The
previous
first
issue.
issue.
Okay, so
Oh
what
my
did you
gosh.
think of it?
That was wild. It's definitely a humor book.
Okay.
It's definitely on the lighter side
I
of
mean, just
the
looking at this art, it looks, they've got baby Watcher here, I think. Maybe that's just regular Watcher. He already kind of always looks like a baby.
with the big head
Yeah,
and
that's
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. But anyway, I don't want to flip too far into it. Like I said, I didn't read it, but it's a good looking book, I will
Yeah.
say, which is not something I often say about Marvel comics, but it's pretty good looking. But you said it was a comedy book, and that struck me because it's
Yeah.
written by Jonathan Hickman, right?
What? No way.
uh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
it's Hickman. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. No way.
Yeah, I know.
That totally slipped past me.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't expect it. Like, a
No.
lot of stuff he does is so.
It didn't read like a Jonathan Hickman
So
book.
this.
And I don't mean that as a dig. I
No, I
like
know what you
Jonathan
mean.
Hickman, but
I
yeah.
I like stuff when he kind of stretches outside of his box,
Right.
because I do feel like all the stuff he does at Marvel usually just comes across as too self-serious.
Yes. He's got like a east of west complex or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
yeah.
they all kind of his serious books all kind of have like the same rhythm
Hmm.
and word usage and yeah.
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 But so you enjoyed the first issue, then?
I did.
Even with okay. So are you looking forward to reading this one?
I am.
You are okay. Well,
Yeah.
then I don't want to spoil anything else in it, other than to say Sam really likes it, and it has the X babies on the cover, so I automatically
must be
recommend
good.
it. Even though I haven't read it, but I recommend the X babies. All right. Well, one other thing I'll briefly mention: Quick Stops number 3 comes out tomorrow. I don't always highlight when the Kevin Smith books come out, just because I don't always read them and I don't always have anything to say about them.
Right.
But I do have something to say about this issue. This is an issue where Jay and Silent Bob go to a cemetery to visit. What are they doing? Oh, they're stealing the Buddy Jesus, the Buddy Christ.
Requiem.
Yeah, and Dante Hicks's tombstone is here. Which,
Ah.
spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Clerks 3, Dante dies.
Dante dies at the end.
Spoiler alert. I'm
Spoiler.
sorry. The
No,
movie's been out for a few years.
it's all good. I think I had that spoiled for me in the Archie Clerks crossover.
Oh yeah, they mentioned it in
They
there.
mentioned it in there, but I thought that was just
Like a
unique
joke
to that story.
No,
yeah.
no. He in continuity, he's dead.
So they did basically the original ending for Clerks 1.
That's correct. Yeah, because that
Okay.
was the original ending, is that Dante gets shot and dies.
And that's how they do
and
it.
that's well, no. That's not how they do it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They just kind of no. He has a heart attack and dies.
Oh God.
And it's spoiler alert. It's not even at the end of the movie. But anyway, so this issue, Jay and Silent Bob are in a cemetery and they meet Metron, the angel from Dogma, and yes, exactly. And I'm just pointing this out because I think, was it in February? My wife and I went and saw Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes live, because they do these live tours and they just kind of tell stories and just talk, and it's like a stage show. Though they don't really do skits, but they will tell jokes and tell stories. And one of the bits that they did the night that we saw them, I'm sure on their last tour, was that they brought an audience member up from stage and had them read the script to what would become this issue of Quick Stops.
Oh.
And so Jay and Kevin Smith read the script. Kevin Smith read the description, like the stage direction, the panel descriptions, and Jason Mewes read all of his dialogue, which is the majority of it. And then I should have had this on camera here. And then the audience member got to read the Alan Rickman parts.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
So they did a thing. He did a thing where he had people in the crowd do their best Alan Rickman impression. And then the crowd would vote, cheer on who would get to go up on stage. And I will say, the person that won, she did not do that great of an Alan Rickman impression, but I think everybody voted for her because of the novelty of we'll have a lady on stage and she can read the Alan Rickman parts. It was still funny in the moment.
Yeah.
So it was a good live show.
Did you have a good Alan Rickman impression?
You know what? I have an okay Alan Rickman impression, but I didn't volunteer because I was literally in the last row on the in the balcony, and I was like, I'm not gonna.
They're not
do this.
coming up.
If I was down on the floor, maybe, But anyway, and so there was I wasn't salty on my part that I didn't get picked, but there was a guy that did an okay Alan Rickman impression, so I was like, he was all right, but it was still cute. It was funny, her up on stage reading these lines and kind of trying to do an Alan Rickman,
making an attempt.
Yeah, exactly. She made it. There was an attempt. So anyway, this is a nice little story. It's as you might expect, because it is about them being in a cemetery and kind of coming to terms with Dante being dead. It's a little sentimental, which I feel like a lot of Kevin Smith's his stuff lately is very sentimental. He's definitely reached an old sentimental age part of his life.
Right.
Jessica wants me to read the lines. Gosh, I don't know.
In your Alan Rickman voice?
Alan Rickman voice. Okay. Sentimental. It means you have a hard time letting go. the human understanding of objective permanence often extends incorrectly into the emotional.
Okay, this is pretty good.
I didn't even read that line beforehand, so I was like, I hope I'm getting all these words pronounced correctly. Anyway, so yeah, the only Alan Rickman line I really do is from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
By Grabthar's hammer, you shall be avenged. Anyway, so it's just neat. I'm just bragging that we went to see Kevin Smith live. That's all. Also coming out tomorrow. Well, let's see. What's something that you got here?
I also have the Amazing X-Men #2. So this is like.
Oh yeah, Amazing X-Men. Part. We should have talked about this after Long Shots.
Yeah.
Oh good. Just as she heard the inflections. I mean that's Alan Rickman. It's all in the inflection.
It's all in the inflection.
The thing is, I don't do a good British impersonation.
Yeah.
Like doing the accent is wrong. But he doesn't, like when he's acting, he's not always doing an accent. He just has that specific inflection. Anyway, let's talk about X-Men. Amazing X-Men. This is issue 2, continuing the.
Yes.
Is this the main art or the main kind of book by
Jed
MacKay?
So this, I mean, yeah, like this. It definitely started out as the main book.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they kind of take a little bit of a sidestep to. They're trying to get to Philadelphia in order to reverse what Revelation is doing.
Okay.
And this one, they go into Darkchild's territory.
Right. Who, of course, is Magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Magic and Juggernaut's her right-hand man.
Her servant.
Yeah.
her best friend slave.
Yeah. And it was pretty good. I'm still digging the X-Men stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one didn't reveal a lot about Revelation and his plot, and it didn't do. I mean, it did a little bit more world building. But specifically, like, not stuff related to mutants. Like, this is kind of like a harbor. This area is like a safe haven for people who are still human.
Gotcha.
Who want to avoid the X gene.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Or the X virus, I mean.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but in their back issue checklist, they specifically make mention of the first appearance of the X Babies in this X-Men annual. X-Men Annual 10. I mean, I understand why they're highlighting it because they do show up in the books this month, but that's still funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how have you been enjoying on the whole, like this event?
On the whole, I've been enjoying it.
Good.
If you like Age of Apocalypse, you'll like this.
Okay, yeah. Good. You know what? I do like Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of a caveat.
Okay.
I don't think it's that good. And I have to admit, a lot of the reason I like it is just nostalgia because I was like 10 years old reading comics.
And it was awesome at the time.
And it was so cool. Yeah. Wolverine had one hand,
he had one, just like a stump.
He had a stump on his left hand, but the claws were still in there. And they eventually come out.
Yeah.
So I'm a little hesitant to just go all in on like another Age of Apocalypse, which I recognize as being nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I'm glad to hear that it's keeping up. And like I said, I like the art in this has been good. Oh, I don't have it on camera here. This is I always forget how to say his name. Muhammad Asrar. He's a really good artist. Yeah. So yeah, this is a good looking book. And it's almost my catchphrase at this point. It's just, I don't often say that about a Marvel book these days. So anytime there's a good looking Marvel book, I think it's worth pointing out.
Fair enough.
Very cool. Okay. I have, let's see, we talked about Knife Fight already. I have 2 more books here. We'll talk about this briefly, and then we can talk about, because they sort of relate to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Batman #3 comes out tomorrow. I don't have a ton to say about this other than it's just been good. I was not really interested in following an ongoing Batman series, but it is written by Matt Fraction, and so there's just a level of quality to it.
Yeah.
And also the art is by George Jimenez. Jorge Jimenez or George Jimenez? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It depends on if he's from Brazil or the rest of South America, I think. But anyway, this is a good book, kind of continuing the theme of the Vandal Savage as the new commissioner and he's
I like
kind of
that.
crooked. I do
Yeah,
too.
I like that twist.
I think we talked about this probably in the last month when the issue came out. But I think it's like if I can get a little like inside baseball kind of talk, I think it's a really smart creative choice that allows Matt Fraction to have his cake and eat it too, where
Mhm.
you get to have Batman be the outlaw while still being a famous superhero.
Right.
Because crooked cops, that's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
And not to get too topical, but who in this day and age can't relate to misuse of authority from some untrustworthy political figures?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? That's
Take that however you will.
yeah, it just is timely, is all I am saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good looking book. Did you read this issue?
I did
Oh,
not.
okay, I don't want to spoil too much
No.
about it. It's
Probably going to be the first thing I read tomorrow because
Awesome.
I have also really liked the first 2 issues.
yeah,
and-
it is good. It's again, I think another thing I like about it is that it's like the pacing of the stories the story moves pretty quickly and it feels really substantial, but also each issue doesn't just have like a superhero fight in each
Right.
issue. Like it's actually like it feels like a pretty dense story while not just hitting you over the head with like flashy action all the time.
Yes.
So we're 3 issues in and I'm pretty surprised at how much I like it. Again, I like Matt Fraction. He's a good
Yeah.
writer. I trust him as a writer, but still, man, he's
good.
He's killing it.
He's got
on
some
this.
good Batman material.
Yeah, he does.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so definitely recommend Batman. Okay, what's the last book you have there?
I have Harley and Ivy: The Life and Crimes.
All right, is
This
this
is by Erica Henderson.
issue 1? Okay.
Yes.
Did you read this one?
I did.
All right, what'd you think?
I liked it. It was nice, simple, sweet.
The definitive origin of DC's wildest love story. Can you confirm? Is that what it is?
I don't know about that, but they are a power couple, you know.
They are a power
Yeah.
couple, yeah.
She does really good. Like I like the homage to that one cover.
Yeah,
there.
That's the classic
And
Joker and Harley.
I won't spoil which version of Joker makes an appearance.
Okay, yeah.
But it's a version of Joker that I was familiar with from starting working here however many years ago.
Oh, okay. So should I not flip too far into the issue?
No, probably not.
Okay. I do like the art on this.
Yeah, I do too.
It gives me animated series vibes
Mhm.
without looking exactly like the animated series,
Yeah.
which I always appreciate. I have an appreciation for Jim Lee, but I don't always like when all comics look like Jim Lee type of art. And DC for a long time, where most of their books always looked like that.
Right.
And so I like that they can kind of get into a looser style or something that's a little more, I don't want to say creative, but animated, just more comic book to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love the way that she does motion, like just with little scribbles and
that's like a manga influence right there.
without a doubt.
I guess this is as far as I'll turn, but yeah, this is a good looking book.
Yeah,
I've always been a little I don't dislike the Harley and Ivy thing, but I do feel like it's just like my complaint has always been it's the same problem that Deadpool has, which is that these are characters who went through an arc and now they're kind of permanently stuck in their like second arc of a three act second act. That's what I'm trying to think of. They're like permanently stuck on their second act, and so it's like I Harley and Ivy like being together makes sense, but it just becomes tedious because they're never going to break them up.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe in 20 years they'll be like, it's time for a shakeup.
They might. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have a fonder appreciation for Harley ever since I watched the show, the animated.
Oh, the animated series.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
it's pretty good.
I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
My wife really liked it. I wasn't totally into it, but it was like what I did see was solid.
Yeah.
I had that problem where I was watching it and I'm like, man, some of these jokes are really good, but it's just reminding me way too much of the Venture Brothers, which is like my favorite
Oh,
cartoon in the
yeah.
entire world. And so I'm just like, it's like the Venture Brothers, but it's never going to be good enough for me because it's not the Venture Brothers,
Yeah.
So that's a personal
I
problem
mean,
on my
those are
part.
big shoes to fill. Venture Brothers is really good.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this looks good. This is this
It will continue, I think. I don't
okay.
know
I
how
couldn't
if it's
remember
like
how many issues, if they said it was a mini series or not.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, that does look good.
Yeah.
Okay, last book to talk about, and this is another one that I'm like super excited to talk about because I cannot believe we're talking about this in the year 2025. A new comic book by R. Crumb.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
New comics by R. Crumb, 80-year-old R. Crumb. This is the first comic of new material he's put out in like over 20 years.
Wow.
And this is stuff that he's just been working on for the last several years. And it is, as you can see, it's Tales of Paranoia. So I'm sure it's like peak old man R. Crumb of just him complaining about things.
No.
But looks great.
Yeah.
Like it's
Have you read it yet?
I read it. So it's an anthology like a lot of his other stuff. So I read a few of the stories in it, but I haven't read the whole thing. As you can see, it is pretty wordy.
Yeah, it's
like
dense.
a lot of Crumb stuff is.
Yeah.
It's really dense because it's just him writing and drawing these screeds, about whatever weird stuff. There's a good one in here. He does have a story, Kiss of Death. This is something that he wrote before his wife's death a few years ago, Eileen Kaminsky.
Yeah.
And she wrote it, I'm sorry.
She was another cartoonist.
She was another cartoonist in her own right. Yeah, Eileen. And she wrote this story, and it was something they were going to work on together, and then it wasn't finished until after she passed. So I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm really curious about it. I did read, there's a story in here about the worst acid trip. Yeah, the very worst LSD trip I ever had in Cleveland in 1966. And it's pretty interesting. Just like they went to a scientist's house who was like, take this special acid and we're going to monitor you. And it's like that right away is like
red flag.
Yeah, red flag, exactly. Yeah. But you know what? It was the 60s, and so free acid, I guess. I mean, it was for science, so he's like, I don't know what was in that, but it wasn't normal LSD. And I always think about that when I think of all these like weirdos from the 60s and how like they kind of grew up to be oddball people. I'm like, there were a lot of drugs in the 60s, and it was legal. Like you could take LSD.
Right.
And I always wonder how many of them really did kind of get like something flipped in their brain because of that.
Switch,
But who am I to judge? Anyway, yeah, if you can believe it, new R. Crumb, Tales of Paranoia. We got it in the store. Cool. Very, very excited about this.
Nice.
All right. That's everything that we got for this week.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Like our friend Dan says, we got comics out there for everybody. It's not always superheroes. Sometimes it's R. Crumb talking about his weird LSD trips and space cadets and with the Dorothy, Fairy Tale, and so on and so forth. All kinds of comics out there. So come on down to Fantasy Books and Games, get some comics. You can talk to us about comics. Comics.
Comics.
All right, we're out of here. See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.